morning. Well, I believe the definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. As the saying goes, if you do what you do, then you'll get what you get every time. So I ventured a bit further north than I would normally do in the hunt for bluebells, which I promised myself I wasn't going to do this year. I haven't found any yet, so don't panic, you're not going to get inundated with bluebell images. And I'm still not convinced that I'm going to get the type of image that my head is seeing. But before I got to the area I want to be, I came across this beautiful scene. And I've just been stood here for about 10-15 minutes watching the mist rolling in. And there's a beautiful, I'm going to guess it's an oak tree, slap bang in the middle. And it had got the mist rolling in either side. When I first got here, you could see the trunk. I'm not going to climb over this. This is blatantly a farmer's field. There's no tracks and it's all fenced, so I'm not going in there. So I've just got the 70 to 200 on and I've taken a few shots of that lone tree. I've also shot over to the right. There's a beautifully shaped tree, but it's surrounded by the man-made structures that you get when they're protecting saplings, which is really not my idea of a nice image. I'm contemplating whether I can clone them out, simply to make it easier on the eye. It detracts for me, but I like that tree. And there's mist behind it, a few trees, the sun is coming in directly behind us, and it's just beginning to light up what looks like a stand of some sort of pine tree in the background. It's a stunning morning. The bird song here is amazing. There's a roar of the road in the distance. It's just a gentle sort of hum. Actually, look, I can see a flag from here. Perhaps there's a golf course or something. It seems a bit strange if it is. But yes, I'm going to have a wander around and see what I can come up with. I'm not holding out any great hopes. I've walked through some nice patches of bluebells, but with very messy undergrowth. Oh, it's a bird of prey. I don't know what it is. I'm as good at identifying birds as I am identifying trees. That's beautiful. Sparrowhawk or something maybe? I don't know. It's obviously out on hunt. But yeah, I saw that and I thought, oh, I've got to stop and take a couple of shots of that. So I've done dead centre, I've done the tree to the left and the tree to the right. The sun's just coming up high enough to catch on the top of the left-hand tree. So I might give it a minute and see. I think by the time it gets high enough, because there's a big canopy of trees behind you, by the time it gets high enough to light up the smaller tree, I think we're going to lose the mist. But yeah, it's not a bad start to the day. This is a scouting trip. I went out to my local wood, last weekend, convinced that I was going to see something different, and it's still the same. It's just not giving me what I want at all. So I thought, let's go somewhere different. Thanks to Rich for reminding me that this place exists. We're at Harewood Hall Circular Walk, or something similar. And I've never been here, but it's rather nice. So yeah, we've got the 70 to 200 on. I initially started shooting at f9. I've moved down to f4 just to soften the background a bit. I didn't want to go as far as f2.8. I'm quite happy. Yeah, this would actually be quite a good spot to come, I feel, in the winter if we had snow. So even if I don't get any amazing bluebell photos, I've had a good scout and maybe lined something up for a visit at a different time of year. I can imagine that this would actually be quite good in autumn because we've got beech. I've not seen any silver birch so far, but I'm seeing beech. Right, I've rattled enough. I'm going to pack up. There's a little pathway down there, so I might head off down there, or I might go back on the main track. I'm not sure yet. But I'll catch up with you when I stop next. Team Whip. Well, I'm still wandering around, not really seeing what I want to see, but sometimes it's not about the big things. I just caught a glimpse of this as I was having a little explore. I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to focus. Oh, there you go, yeah. I don't know why, I just caught a glimpse of red out the corner of my eye. Excuse the wibbly wobbly, I'm not on the gimbal or the tripod. But I thought, oh, that looks quite nice. And there's just a little bit of light catching on it. The background's a bit rubbishy, but it's sort of greens and browns, which isn't actually helping the cause very much. But it just struck me as something a little bit different to a normal bluebell portrait. And I've shot him from that angle, but then I came down and put him on his side, or put her on her side. And I thought, oh, yeah, I quite like that. So it's not always about the big things. By George, I think we finally found something. The light isn't ideal. One thing I should say, the mist that was down in the fields when I was shooting the tree hadn't ever made it as far as this wood. Don't know why, it's bizarre. Anyway, I've come across this mass of bluebells. That area down there you can't go into because it is a wildlife preservation area. There's a fence. But there's a gap in the fence where there's a path. But I've been good and I've come up the other path. There's a derelict building behind me and a main road, so you can hear the traffic. But I found this little copse of bells, and we have a beech tree with a fairly low branch, and the light, the sun is... there's not much cloud, but there's a bit of a haze in the sky. And it's just letting enough light through to catch the leaves on that tree. In the middle of the frame, there's just a little bit of a branch sticking out. And we've got some lovely dappled light on the bells themselves. Now, I'm at ISO 100, I'm at 1/80th of a second, and I'm at f4. There's the merest hint of a breeze, and it is very mere. Yes, I've just done something stupid. I'm actually doing an image stack or a focus stack. So before I do the first one, I put my hand in front of the lens. I'll take 2 images because I want the foremost bluebells sharp, which I think is that one where I focused. Yeah, and then I want the mid-ground sharp. I might even end up doing 3. It's only me who twists the focus ring on the camera the wrong way every single flipping time. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, that's all right then. The green on the beech leaves is phenomenal. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautifully rich. There's a little bit of warmth in the sunlight. I did a couple of shots earlier on that I didn't bother talking to you about because whilst I liked the framing and I liked the composition, the light was flatter than a flat thing and there was no warmth in it. So, but yeah, if I don't get anything else today, I quite like that. Although I do like my little ladybird. There's one more image. Let's go for a wander. Hold on a minute. I did have to do a little bit of gardening with that image. There's some broken, fallen leaves and tut. Come here, I'm going for a walk. I'll point something out to you. Right, hold on, we don't get motion sickness. Zoom into that. Right, so what I've spotted, I'm not quite framed up correctly here, it's fixed focus. that little patch of bluebell, and then we have one trunk curving off to the left, and then we've got almost alternate angles on the trunks behind it. And I've looked at it and thought, I quite like that, I think. So I'm going to have a go at that one. Might not work. I'm hoping to do it landscape, might have to do it portrait. Processing wise, use of the autumn effect, which I will try to remember to record while I'm doing it to show you what it is. If you have a look at Tom Heaton's video on the autumn effect, he describes it really well. It's like you tweak the sliders until you go, oh my god, and you leave it to cook for half an hour, come back, twiddle some more sliders, and hey presto. I think it was Nick Page who did it originally, the one that I saw, and I think Tom Heaton nicked it off Nick Page, and I've tweaked it to how I want it to be. But that again has the effect of softening the background. You can brush out bits of the scene that you want to not have the effect on. And I saw somebody else doing a little video on, might have been Instagram this morning or yesterday, explaining that they use the autumn effect on their images. So yes, so that'll probably be the the processing that we do. Anyway, hope you like the images. As I say, I'll try and put a bit of a processing video up as well. Thanks for coming along, and I'll tell you what it is just before I go, what is a shame. The bird song is incredible. There's a main road there, and it's a very busy main road. When I'm photographing, I can block all the sound out. I don't hear a thing. But when you stop, they sound like big birds, so maybe crows or rooks, I don't know. But there's lots of little bird sounds as well. Such a shame about that road there. Hey, we can't have it all. Anyway, yes, as I was saying, have a great couple of weeks. Thanks for coming along. Hope you like the images. Catch up with you soon. Toodaloo. Well, I said I'd do a little, I'm not going to call it a tutorial, I'm just going to show you how I would edit my woodland images. This is my start image. I've cropped it, done the usual raw file tweaks. So now I am going to duplicate the background layer. So right click on my layer, duplicate from background. And then, I've got to remember how you do this. So we go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And I find somewhere around 23.5, if it will go there, that's it, 23.5 pixels works best for me. Play around with it and you might find something different. Click OK. Then we're going to the scary bit. Images, or image adjustments, levels. Grab the left hand slider and pull that across until the image goes dark. So dark that you can still make out what it is. So I can still see their trees and there's a bit of colour and some leaves. And then grab the right hand slider and pull that across to the left till you start to get some, what you would normally say, blown highlights. So that's a little bit too much. Drop that back. So we're just getting a bit blown there and a bit blown there. That looks like a really funky image, doesn't it? Psychedelia. Then go up to opacity and I knock that down to 100%, to 0%. I start at 0. And then just slowly increase it. Now I tend to hit the sweet spot somewhere between 8 and 14%. So that's 10%, and if you scroll in and hide the background copy that it's working on, by hiding it you can figure out what is pleasing to your eye. 10%, I think. You can see that it's a subtle difference. I think I might actually just knock that down a little bit, knock that down to 8. Doesn't want to be too in your face. That's better. It just softens the background. I then stay on my background copy add a layer, I think they're called, erasing layer. I don't know the technical terms. Take my brush tool. We're on black for erase, and then I'll just whiz over anything that I don't want to have the effect on. So in this instance, I want the tree trunks to be back as they were normal. Anything in the foreground generally, and I'm just going to do a little bit on that. Might still have to crop a little bit off this image. And then make your tool, your brush a little bit smaller. Just a bit. You can see up here on the layer, it is showing you what I've brushed off. And they're sort of meant to be the star of the show, so it's more background that I want to keep in. And that's about it. So scrolling again, you can see it is a very subtle difference, but it just softens the background. Then right click, flatten image, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'll then go and finish off. I just need to crop a little bit off the top there. I wanted that branch there to act as more of a frame, because that works in conjunction with that one. Whoops. Under the brush tool. Conjunction with that just acts as a little frame. At least that's how I see it. And that's it. That's all there is to it.